Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today, yeah, heard a ghost last night. Question mark. So yeah, I know how stupid that sounds. I heard a ghost. Most people like see a ghost. I've done seen it. But before we start, please like, share, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, information's in the description for Zelle. I don't really know how that. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, man, I heard a ghost. Um, so I work. I was at work last night, and I was in the basement, uh, doing mine. You know what I'm saying? It'd be doing it all. So I was doing mine, doing what I was doing, and there's just you can't hear what's going on upstairs because there's like industrial shit going on around me, like these machines, you can't hear yourself think, kind of. And I'm just like, doing what I do. And I heard this like ghostly. It was weird because it sounded like a child's voice, almost like a toddler, and it was an excited kind of it went, "Mommy!" Like what the huh? So I look where I heard it from. I look over, there's nothing. And then it's like, wait a minute. You ever seen? You feel like you're being watched or something. So I look, and of course, the rest of the night, every small thing you hear, you're on like edge. Um, I was probably due for a paranormal event. I haven't had one in a while. So yeah, I saw mommy, and it was quick, excited, loud. Um, at first, I thought it was a child, like a female voice, like a girl. But then as I'm finishing what I'm doing, I was like, wait a minute, man, that could have been a boy, like a toddler. You know how they have like high pitched voice? It sounded like a toddler, somebody that can't speak, a kid that can't speak that much, but they're just learning to talk and they see their mother, like, mommy. Um, so if I'd have saw something, I would have ran, but I had stuff to do. And then I'm thinking, because I'm working with other people, they're upstairs. I'm like, there's no way I'm telling them this. Like, I'm not going to go up there and go, hey, dang, I saw. No. Um, and because I keep a lot of stuff close to my chest, so I go about my day, go upstairs, and they're up around me, my other people I'm working with, and one of them brings it up. She goes, "Oh, this place is haunted." I'm like, haunted, and the other one's like, "Yeah, you see," and I was like, and I'm thinking, should I tell them? And I went, have you guys ever heard anything weird? And then they both, what's a, you know, I was like, should I tell? Like, look, don't think I'm crazy. Like, no, no, no. They're like, oh yeah. Um, so I told them. I said, yeah. I mean, I feel uncomfortable saying this, but I was downstairs and I heard this child's voice say, "Mommy." And then the one, she's basically my boss. She's like, "Oh my god," because that last night she was in another room, but she heard mom and her people around. He's like, "Did you say something?" And they're like, "No, I didn't say anything." So right around the same time, it's like 7 or 8 at night, we both heard some kind of paranormal stuff. Then we like, we're all, campfire around talking. And one of them was like, oh, this place is haunted. And they were going through it, and then like, it mimics voices. And when she said that, it kind of creeped me out. Like, and they just a list of this place I work, I guess, is haunted, and then people know it. Um, where they've had to call the cops multiple times because they're like, someone's in there, they can hear it. Lights on, doors locked, unlocked, this, that, and the other. People claiming, swearing that they, and the cops go out there and have to search the place. One time they said they drew their guns because they were so scared that they heard, they thought somebody was, they said there was a shadow person out there. Uh, Shit, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a strange, mysterious world we live in. And again, I was probably due for paranormal. I've seen ghosts through, all through my life. Not that many. It isn't like I'm a ghost whisperer or anything. And so that, but it kind of comforted me that they kind of accepted it. And then basically my boss was like, yeah, right around I heard this, I heard somebody call mine, but they said mom. And again, she said it mimicked her son's voice. Now, the more I think about it, I've heard that it's all, hey, I know this sounds crazy, but it, because I don't, did it mimic me as a kid? Because that's when I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute, did it mimic me? How in the hell would it know how I sounded, when I was a child, whatever? Because also, I heard all this weird dripping running water too after it happened. And then they brought that up too. Like, yeah, then they'll hear this running water. I go, wait a minute, that's what I heard, And of course, you're tripped out. It's like any kind of that, the phone rings, hey, it's just stupid. But it's kind of racking I drove home last night and I'm just like, man, did that fucking poltergeist or whatever it was, hopefully it didn't follow me home. I don't think it did. Did it mimic I don't know. I mean, it's trippy. And then my boss, she heard that, what are the odds? I mean, come on. Like, that's strange. That's some weird. And then they brought it up. I wasn't going to say anything. Like this week, my dog died and I go to work. I didn't tell them until last night because I'm going to go, oh, my dog died and go in there belly aching. No. Then I finally was like, I had a rough week. My dog died, And it kind of broke down the barriers, working with people, it's like, oh, okay, and the shit they told me, I mean, there was just on and on and on about people seeing this. And then they're like, the one guy saw the shadow man or the shadow person or whatever. And they were saying that he literally and then it followed him around the building. I guess he quit. He never came back. Whatever he did, I don't blame him if you saw some kind of shit. Again, a strange, mysterious world. And then there's a history of this happening at this certain establishment I work at, where the cops have to come. And then they know the cops have, it's been going on for, I guess, a long time. And you go in there, I ain't going in there. And they went down there, heard something, and drew guns. But then they have to talk about, there was like, well, could have been a, homeless person snuck in or this, that, and the other. Homeless person. They're going to pick the locks of all those. Come on. Because they've heard rooms, then it went like above the they had to go through the rafter, like a wall at the top of the roof, looking for it, and then see anything. Could be. Perhaps. It's a major, it's like, what is going on? Like, shit. Then you have to accept it. Like, okay, fine. I did see, but I wasn't going to say anything. Again, I keep some of my personal stuff. I didn't even tell them my dog died Monday. I've been working all week. I didn't, no. Then after that kind of broke down the barriers, like, man, yeah, I'm having and they're like, yeah, we could tell something was going on with you. My dog died. And I had to bury my dog. Brutal. I love animals. I've always had dogs. But then for them to, and then one of them brought it up. I wouldn't say anything. She's like, man, this place is haunted. I could continue, and it will mimic certain things like your voice. And I was like, what shit was that? Because at first I thought what I heard, the mommy, was a girl's voice. But then when kids are like toddlers, when they're just starting to walk and they're sitting talk, they sound they get that high pitched voice, but it was almost like I've heard it before. And that's when later on I was like, wait a minute, did it mimic me as a child and repeat that? How in the hell would it, huh? No, that ain't right. That's kind of creepy. But when it happened, the only reason I didn't run is because it was sounded so happy and excited. Like, mommy, like say if a toddler and your mom comes home from work or whatever, and is excited to see their mom. Um, then I look over in the corner where it was at. I didn't see anything, and then it's like I didn't. Something shift. There's two other rooms. And it's like I'm looking around. I didn't see anything, and the lights were on. I mean, and I'm finishing what I'm doing. Like I'll never tell them this. I'm not gonna be, because I'm the new dude. I ain't gonna be. Oh, that's say. They don't even know I have a podcast. I don't tell a lot of people. I'm not out there. Well, see, I have a podcast. No, that's not what I. That's I'm horrible at promotion and certain things. Again, I do this because it's therapeutic for me. It's like therapy. I got to get some of these stories down, bro. I gotta. You know, there's things in my there's things I don't like to talk about, but yeah, hell. Um, so that's why I do it. But it was comforting, honestly, even that she brought it up. Like, yeah, this place is haunted. And then I look at and they're talking about, and I go, have you guys ever heard anything weird around here? And they go, okay, like they even knew, like because she'd already heard something too. She wanted me to say, "What'd you hear?" And when I said, "Mom," she was freaking out, like, "Oh my god, that it just." But she heard "mom," and it sounded like her son. I said, "Did you say anything?" No, we didn't. Not knowing that I had heard right around the same time, within like an hour of each other. It might even have been the same time. I don't know. I wouldn't, I wouldn't look at the clock. Well, let's see. Mine was 7:47. Yours was 8:02. I don't know. And then we spent like the next like 2 hours, like just and talking about this haunted place, and it's known to be haunted. The cops know. The cops like, I ain't going there. You go. You go. I'd say you go in there. I didn't say shit. They have to draw a gun. Can you imagine walking around with a gun? You might shoot somebody. Don't put your finger on the trigger, bro. It's hey, and people over and over and over and the shadow person or the shadow man or whatever. But it was only one person that saw that shadow being or whatever. Uh, Again, strange, mysterious world. I was probably due for because the town I'm in now, I moved from California to Illinois. I used to live in this town when I was younger in the 80s. I was like from 13 to 15, I lived in this town. We lived in a house that is known, the Barton Stone house. I did a podcast about maybe week two ago. Who knows? And I saw this ghost. Like I was in my bedroom looking out the window across the street. I saw this glow. So I walked to my window, like, what the fuck? Like this like bluish white glow. Went out there. First thing I noticed, there was a tree that shouldn't be there. Ain't no big old tree in front of across the street. And then I looked down and he looked like a Civil War soldier. He was Union, meaning the North. He had like the blue, and he had all this like wool jacket with big buttons, and he had a belt around it. And then he had these like kind of big wool pants with these funny looking boots. And he was leaned up against a tree, like holding this like big rifle, like this old school looking. The scary part about that is he noticed me and he started lifting up his gun. And another one, like these so came running and then they just disappeared. It was like gone. So I'm like freaking out. Of course, I was probably 14 or 15. We had stolen beers, we were drinking, but back then, 2 or 3 beers, I'd be ossified. You know what I mean? I was a teenager. And when I mean stole beers from my mom, you know what I mean? It wasn't like we were out like stealing beers from store. No. Of course, she came home. Who stole my beer? um, so this town, I guess, is like known for ghosts. I mean, shit. trippy. I didn't sleep good. I mean, again, once something like this happens to you, every little thing. And I got home like after 11. Of course, I have to walk my dog. She's been in the house for like, and I just can't walk her once because I get as soon as I get in, I gotta walk my dog. She's like, hey, walk her in the neighborhood. It's kind of dark in my neighborhood. Come back, and then as soon as I get back from walking her, then I gotta give her snacks. I give her like real ham, like not the processed ham, and like these milk bone, whatever they are. Then of course she's got to go again because so I give her a little bit of time. Um, that's just my routine. When I come in, I don't take off my jacket. I just grab the leash and just don't get too comfortable because I got to walk. So I had a cigarette and then walked her again. And again, I didn't see anything. But then again, the wind's blowing and it's near Halloween. It's like, pardon me. And she's not acting any different. She's all happy. But yeah, I didn't sleep well. Forgot what I dreamt about. But this morning I felt like, hey, like I feel fine. So I had something else I was going to talk about. But as I was getting ready, I was like, man, I should tell this story. Because part of the reason about my podcast, I want to be honest about things. And I'm kind of using the Howard Stern philosophy, Artie Lang philosophy of like, hey, use what you got. Don't try to just use what you have. Don't be no, just what you got. It's you. See, if you use what you got, that well runneth over. You'll never, you can always go dip your beak in that well. But if you use other things and you have to do that, you have to always be searching for, Same with my music. It's like, you know what? I'm kind of shitty 3-chord rock and roll when I was in bands. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to lean in and try to perfect that. So that's my philosophy. Again, I stole it from Howard Stern and Artie Lang, where don't go trying to be someone else. What's the best thing you got? You. That will never, you always have that. You have a wealth. Be yourself. Of course, you're going to take from here and there. Like say if you like, oh, you're influenced by people and this, that, and the other, but then you put your own spin on it. Then that makes something cool. And then other people, because that's what life's all about, man. No one's really, we're all like nicking stuff from here and there, I'm talking about your personality, your cadence, everything, your music, your art, all that. I'm under the, that nothing's really unique. How you make it unique is putting your own spin on it. So that's why I was like, you know what? I have something else I want to talk about. But like, no, I was in the shower this morning. I was like, nah, man, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. Heard a ghost. I didn't see it. Now, how stupid is that? Done heard a ghost. I mean, I get it, And they were talking, my other that they were like, man, we should get somebody in here and have them. I was like, yeah, let them spend the night in that basement or wherever they saw that shadow man or wherever because there's multiple buildings. And I guess it's known, always had, like there's just, again, the cops are there. Just call the cops. Then people that are there, visitors that are there, they call the guys. I heard someone's chasing me. I can't see him. But strange. They told me like they went through and turn on the lights. Of course, there's multiple doors you're going through. You have to lock them. There's keys, man. There's like, it's a business. So you have to, and then get someone call, whatever it is. They go back. All the doors are open and all the lights are on. And then they can hear, like in the other room, they're going and they can't. And they said, literally, they said it sounded like it was in there's an ice box there, like a refrigerator thing, and they could hear it in there. And when they opened, nothing was there, and it just, and then up on the roof and the panels of they damn near tore that place apart. And the guy's like, oh, it has to be a homeless person. It has to be a vagrant or whatever. No, I guess it didn't. Again, pulled guns. Like the dude got their gun out You're not serious when a cop has his gun out. That did shit. Because there's protocols they have to follow, I think. You just can't walk around with the gun and say, I've got no. A major, huh? Like, what the shit? But weird. What's weird? It was creepy because I didn't know, but it wasn't like I didn't feel anything evil uh, until I started thinking about it. But it was so happy. This voice of a child and excited, happy and excited. It happened so fast. Mommy, like this. What the fuck did I just? Huh? Then I'm looking over there because I could tell where it came from. You can know the sound. It came from my left. Looking over there, nothing. And then I don't know if I heard, it was almost like a shuffle or something. Then there was another room and then another room. So I was like, huh? Huh? And I didn't hear him. So I finished up what I was doing, told myself, never tell them. Don't ever keep this to yourself. But again, I hadn't told them my dog died or nothing. They don't know I have a podcast. Again, I'm just kind of like, I'm honestly in my personal life, I'm kind of shy and just don't. I used to be in bands and this, that, and the other. You got to, but man, I'm older. I'm not kibitzing with that. I say, no, no. But when they brought it up, this place is haunted. I go, oh my God. I was like, should I say something? And then they started talking, and I go, can I tell you guys something? They go, do tell. Have you guys heard anything? And they're, oh, huh? You tell first. And I was like, because they were all over laughing, kind of shocked, like because we both confirmed, me and my boss, what had happened to us last night within like a certain time period. I heard mommy, she heard mom, and she thought it was her son's voice. You see, what did you guys hear? No, we didn't hear anything. We didn't say anything. Nobody said anything. I wasn't around. Matter of fact, I was probably downstairs when again we're trying to put the time right around the same time. Now I can't hear what's upstairs. You could be screaming for me, I wouldn't hear anything. There's this jigga 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 down there. There's these machines and all this stuff, and it's down in like a old basement. There's all this stuff, and I could be screaming down there. They wouldn't know. You can barely hear when people walk. You can hear creaking. That's about all you can hear from upstairs. Um, and again, I didn't. Then after we talked, I just let the flow. Oh, my dog died this week. I heard that go. I just and they did too. They all were. But I work there. I gotta go. I'm off this weekend, but next week, dun dun dun. Yeah. Again, I have faith. I have strong faith. Now, granted, I'm still, hell, I'm not perfect. Far from it. And I have a job. Of course, I work. A lot of these, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and they're all over true crime, paranormal, this and that and the other. People try to act like they are so cool they don't need to work, huh? Are you a trust fund kid? Don't ever be ashamed of working. I'm a blue collar kind of. I've always had, even though when I lived in LA, there were times where I didn't technically have a job, but I would flip cars and guitars. That's my thing. I love cars. I love guitars. And I would search online, Craigslist, this, that, and the other, offer up, take five, whatever, what had all these apps. So I'd sit there for like 6 to 8 hours. I was like, look, if I'm going to have I'm going to be, try explaining that on your resume. Well, let's see. I guess I was a hustler, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I was about due for a paranormal event. Now, my philosophy or theory is Huxley talked about the doors of perception. That's where the doors got their name. And his theory was there's doors of perception. People have more perception than others. Right? There's certain people that are that's see, So some people might hear it. Like when she heard it, the people around her didn't. So somehow I don't know what it was. It's just your perception. You're more tuned into. I don't know. Ask Huxley. Well, he's dead. You can't. But shit, um, that's what I think it is. I think if they're right in Einstein, time's nonlinear. There ain't no beginning or end, and it's just time is a more like a weaved in together. I don't know something. I don't have all the answers. Matter of fact, I don't have that many answers. That's why I'm a question mark because I don't know. And then from there, I can ask more questions and try to figure some stuff out. I don't trust people that have all the answers. Well, see, I know even in the paranormal, because I love paranormal, my podcast is all over the place. I'm into my personal experiences. I talk about my bands and my book and my scripts and this and acting in Hollywood. I lived there for 24 years and I love true crime. I love paranormal. Dude, I love a good like Bigfoot documentary or UFOs or whatever. That's just me. That's just my, cup of tea. I have a cooking show. I love to cook. I'm a foodie. Uh, um, so my perception is a little, I have, I'm not saying more. It's just that I'm more in tune with myself, maybe. I don't even know. But it's strange that I got cooperated. Basically, the same word was heard. I heard mommy. My boss heard mom. And then before we even talked about it, the one person was like, it'll mimic. Yeah, it'll. And I vaguely remember watching like ghost documentaries about that, like a poltergeist or ghost, whatever it is, spirit will mimic these voices. Um, I've also remember watching a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, what do you want to call it? That it'll mimic people, animals, this, that, and the other. Like I was watching this one Bigfoot, and he heard like "help me," like a woman crying for help, and he went looking in the woods. Next thing you know, he sees this big hairy beast. Huh? Like shit, run, or maybe not run, just back away. Uh, Strange. It's kind of embarrassing for me to admit this kind of stuff too. Like I'm not. uh, but hey, again, I'm going back to what do I have? I have me and my thoughts and my experiences and what I like. Well, that's what I'm going to do. That's the well I'm going to. I'm not trying to be, I'm just going to, that well runneth over, man. If I'm out doing other things, of course, I'll talk about these other things, but if I don't use me and try to be somebody else or some kind of fake persona, whatever, well, that you run out of, you know, you got to go the, you got to be, no, that's just my personal opinion. That's just my personal thing. Everybody, I like watching other, it's just that for me, that's what I got to do because that's what I'm good at. Even though this isn't that great, I think this podcast, good, I get it. But for me, it makes me feel comfortable because if I get out of that realm, then I start, I did say I can't be myself. I have to do me, whether it sucks or not. That's what I got to do. I suggest other people do it too. Lean in, use what you have. Then you get confident from that. Then you get better, you know? Um, yeah, I'm not a paranormal podcaster. I mean, shit. The last thing on my mind, I had a weird week, man. My dog died Monday. I heard a ghost last night. What the shit? It is near Halloween. I mean, um, of course, it went in the spirit of my dog. He couldn't talk. I mean, Mr. Simon, poor Mr. Simon. Um, but shit happens. Use it. Because I was going to talk about something completely different. But I was listening to myself saying, man, you got to talk about that. You got to, this is, you got to, well, it's fresh. No, I don't want to. I was fighting with no, okay, fine, just Look into it. I suggest people to use yourself. I know it sounds stupid. Use yourself. But what else do you have? Again, if you lean into you, that you got a mound of gold. You know, don't be trying. Again, we're all influenced from other things, from this to that. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of do that too. That way, because you put your own spin on it, then it makes it something even more unique. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what life's about. That's what my life's about. I mean, I love to be influenced by people. I love to be inspired. I love seeing like people that are cool and funny and they're gonna make me better. It's kind of a selfish thing. I need. Kind of what about Bob kind of thing? But it is what it is. Again, please like, share, subscribe if you want to support the podcast. It's in the description. Zelle is information for Zelle. Eventually, I'm going to be doing this full time, and I want to go out and about and do stuff. Like if I had more time and better equipment, I would stay down there. Of course, I'd want somebody to be, pardon me. I want somebody down there with me. Maybe be armed, but I don't own any. I'm not armed, so I shit. Maybe take the good book with me. But yeah, I do this every day. So I'll be back tomorrow. Look, I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Be back tomorrow. Be blessed. Cheers.